What's going on, Soul Tribe? I salute the divinity in you, and welcome to my channel, Alchemist. Justin here, and are you ready to work with these energies this week? Because you know what, this one feels a bit milder than what we've been kind of going through there. We got a couple of planetary ingresses. The lovely Venus is going to move into Leo, going to be shining bright, strutting its stuff, and really kind of putting, attracting the things that really fuel it up, forming a nice aspect with Saturn, which we love that. But the most important thing that's going to be happening here too, especially if your sun's in Virgo, happy solar return. Virgo, where you at? Hopefully you're having a really great time. You're enjoying this, and I mean, we were just getting ready to the scene here, but hopefully you're feeling pumped up, feeling that this is going to be a good one. Because I do think that starting off here, there's a little bit of support. I'm about to get into all that here in a moment. But if you do have your sun in Virgo, this would be a great time too to book a consultation with me, because if you have your sun in Virgo, you get a 10% discount off a consultation with me. So if that's something that that you're curious into, want to get more information, down in the description box, there is my email. So definitely reach out to me. And if that's something that you're interested in, I'll send you a link for that. But before we jump into this thing here, if you're new here, again, my name is Justin. And one of the things that I do in this channel is talk about the Celestial News Weekly, the chit chat that goes on up in the sky. And I'm going to be covering the week of August 21st through the 27th. And let's go ahead and get into this. Thing's kind of nice. Seeing some new fresh movement that's getting ready to happen here. And so speaking of the first one, on a Venus day, the 22nd of August, the sun is going to enter into Virgo, and that's going to happen at about 1:34 p.m., and that's going to be Pacific time. Now, first off, with the sun entering into a new sign, or when any celestial body moves into the new sign, we want to see where you have Virgo in your chart. What house or houses does that Virgo theme crossing? Because the sun is going to be activating those places, activating that house. And you want to see if Virgo is a particularly active time for you, if you have a lot of mutable placements, or if you have a lot of, and that would be like Sagittarius, Pisces, Gemini, or Virgo, or if you have a lot of earth placements, that's Capricorn, Taurus, Virgo. This could be a nice, depending on how the energies is, this could be a more active time for you. So definitely start checking into that, especially too if Virgo is the sign of the year for you as well. You definitely want to get eyes on that, the sun bringing in that fresh light in Virgo. But Virgo is a mutable earth sign, and they are receptive or yin in nature, and they're ruled by Mercury. And the nice thing about that, even kind of starting off there, this fresh ingress, is that now the sun and Mercury are and they're in a sense of mutual reception here. If you're looking at the chart being in each other's home signs, now they're not connected by aspects, so it's not quite as strong, but there's still something there that's going with that. And this is nice too, because we're going to be this is getting into the lunar shenanigans a little bit, but the following day we're going to be starting a new moon there. Mercury's direct, and I feel like this is a great time to look at where maybe this Leo season, because there was a lot that happened. I think that Leo season was pretty jam-packed with some things. And so this would be a great time to just look at what are some mess that maybe need to get cleaned up. What are some problems that are needed to be solved, where you need to put that critical thinking of Virgo to work. Because Virgo's great at that, dealing with the materials, moving those sort of around, receiving the input, looking at all of the possibilities, using that discernment to make any sort of corrections to perfect any sort of thing that has been going on there, just to get stuff back in order. So this again would be a great time with just the sun and Virgo in general, just for doing like a cleaning up of house, just going through, so that way you can just function better, doing any sort of thing, looking at the relationships that you've been forming, sort of any sort of like maybe vices that may come up, maybe problems that we've been kind of procrastinating on. Virgo's going to get stuff done, and it's nice when we're in that earth energy, because it's a mutable earth energy too. So, it's a changeable energy, making the improvement, I think is ultimately the goal for Virgo here. So yeah, again, this is a great time for that. And again, if you have your sun in Virgo, just thinking about what's going on for the year, reflecting on this year, and where do you think about things going forward, more specifically for those of you with those placements there. But yeah, I really like when I like this sun in Virgo. It could be very kind of, not just hard work, and I would be mindful of that too. Just because Virgo does have very strong mental energy, make sure to kind of tune in that you're not overworking yourself, that we're not skipping meals, we're not skipping skipping rest. Things may be just a little more active, just because again, Virgo is a bit of a mental energy, even though it's not an air sign, being Mercury ruled, has that tendency. So just something to kind of pay attention to there. But then we move into the next aspect. And the last thing we're going to be talking about here is happening on Moon Day. And that's going to be the 25th of August. And we got an ingress and an aspect that's happening. First off, Venus, as you see here, is going to freshly enter into Leo. And that's going to happen at about 9:27 a.m. And again, that's Pacific time. Now, when you think about Venus and Leo, Leo is the fixed fire sign. They're active or young in nature, ruled by the sun. And I think of Venus and Leo as a chance of looking at all the things that we attract in our life, the relationships, not just with people, but with a lot of things, and see how that is fueling the energy. Because I find with Leo, they are ones that have, being the fixed fire, whatever they put their energy into, and if it's something that they really love, which, of course, with Venus being there, then that's really going to help that Leo energy shine bright. And again, if you have, let's say, if Leo is the sign of the year for, and your Venus is coming through there, let's get some of that Venusian energy. But that can again be looking at, see how maybe if the relationships in your life, maybe if there's something that's needed to be corrected, maybe there's not a sense of reciprocity, maybe there's something that's whatever that may be, or maybe there's your relationship with like a certain food substance, or maybe maybe with sleep, maybe there's not enough energy there because we're not recharging the body enough. I think there's a lot of, I think the energies here lately have been given like a kind of reset, a recalibration. Even when I was looking over like the week of the lunar shenanigans, it's something kind of promoting a sense of, if you've been feeling a bit off kilter, a way of getting back on balance, And I think that's going to really kind of apply really kind of nicely here as we talk about that aspect, because shortly after Venus enters into Leo, Venus is going to form a trine with Saturn that's retrograde. And that's happening at 0 degrees and 25 minutes, Venus in Leo, Saturn in Aries. And the trine aspect, because if we're going to have any sort of conversation that's happening with the malefic, we want it to be a trine. That's nice. I want it to be like a harmonious aspect here. And the trines can create this sense of flow, this sense of ease. Things just come more naturally. And so this could be where, even though Saturn is still in the overcoming position, we're still feeling that kind of weight of whatever responsibilities or whatever things that may have been stirred up over the last couple of weeks. Now this is a time where we can, again, kind of bring some harmony with Venus here. Think about, okay, this is where the responsibility, the task that I need to tackle with that Saturn in Aries. It may take some time, that Saturn, but it doesn't have to be something that is, I don't think it has to feel as laborious as Saturn can feel, having that Venus influence on there. Because when we're working on improving the things harmonious and stuff, like, yeah, maybe getting that initial reset may be a bit of a challenge, but it's like once you get that ball rolling, then it's just, again, that Leo energy will keep it consistent. But I think with Saturn, there's just finding that spark, and with it being in a trine, it could be easier to find that push, for whatever it is that you're needing to get accomplished there. So, so again, some really kind of nice energy that we're moving in here, as far as the kind of the sun and the classical planets are going to be forming this week here. So utilize this, allow this as a time to, just kind of get into this sort of reset, especially as we get into the new moon phase. This, I think, is going to be a prime time to do some really good growth, at least kind of get some, feeling like a sense of, just things feeling back to some sort of normalcy again. So I like that. We always love when that's happening there. But that's basically all I got there for you with the transits this week. So let me know down in the comment section how this energies is working for you. And that's something too where, check out in the description box if you want to get a kind of a fuller feel for how the rest of the week is going to be. Then in the description box there's a link for a playlist for the lunar shenanigans, and that just covers the moon astrology, what sign it's in, what phase it's in, when it happens to go void of course, and just again a general feel of the energies and how they work together with these sort of bigger transits. Now, if that's something too where you want to, whether you have your sun in Virgo or not, if it's something where you want to book a consultation with me as far as like learning how dig into your natal chart more, or if you want to see what are some impactful transits are getting ready to happen in your chart, or maybe you want to begin some kind of auspicious elections, whatever that is. Maybe you want to initiate a vacation, sign a business or start a business, sign a contract, whatever that might be looking like, buying a home, then I have, again, all those, the link to book a service with me is down in the description box. And if you have any questions about the services that I provide, my email's down there as well. And then also on this channel, another thing to check out, I'm doing this little series right now that talks about different celestial bodies and different zodiac signs in different houses, and just like my thoughts on them and some ways to think about how this may be applying to your chart there. So that's all done by all I'll put in playlists for you. See if I can spit that out there. I'll put in playlists for you. So definitely check that out. And if you see that I haven't done your placement, you want to request a placement, absolutely do that and comment in any of the videos, and I'll be sure to get to it I'm usually pretty good about getting back to getting those videos posted pretty soon. So, but yeah, that's all I got for you there. So until next time, stay mindful out there. Keep raising that vibration through the roof. And I will catch you on the next one, Mercury Day.